In this section, we're learning about the demand curve. The demand curve talks about the relationship between the quantity demanded of a good or a service and the price that is being charged for that good or a service. And that relationship is shown in what's called the demand schedule. The demand schedule is a table that shows us the relationship between the price and the product and the quantity demanded, holding everything else constant. The quantity demanded of a good or a service and the price that is being charged for that good or a service. And that relationship is shown in what's called the demand schedule. The demand schedule is a table that shows us the relationship between the price and the product and the quantity demanded, holding everything else constant. What are those things that we hold constant? Well, we want to think about all the things that affect whether you want to buy a good or a service. Let's look at an example. Here we're going to look at the pizza market. So we want to think about all the things that might affect how much pizza you want to buy. The most important, or one of the main variables, is the price. And that relationship between the price and the quantity of pizza that we want to buy is what we show in the demand schedule and subsequently in the demand curve. But there are some other variables, one of which is consumers' income. Consumers' income affects how much people want to buy. If you earn more income, you tend to buy more pizza. If you earn less income, you buy less pizza. And this is true for a lot of goods and services. Another important variable is the price of substitute goods. Suppose the price of tacos or the price of sandwiches changes. Well, if there's a significant increase in the price of sandwiches, then we might buy fewer sandwiches and hence more pizza. Right? So it's the price of substitutes also affects how much pizza you want to buy, as well as the price of complementary goods, or goods that go with pizza. The example we have here is the price of lemonade. If the price of lemonade goes down and you really like to have lemonade with your pizza, then you might be willing to buy more pizza even at the same price. Two other variables that are very important are consumer preferences and consumer expectations. And we're going to see how these different variables affect the demand curve. But what we're going to look at most specifically is the relationship between the price and the quantity demanded of a good or a service. And that relationship is going to be shown in the demand curve. So first we're going to look at an individual's demand curve, which shows the relationship between the price of a good and how much an individual consumer wants to buy. And we'll show that along that demand curve, the law of demand holds. The law of demand says that, as you would expect, with most goods, there is a negative relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. If the price of a good or service goes up, then you would expect the quantity demanded to go down. So in this example, suppose the price of pizzas goes from $10 for a large pizza up to $50 for a large pizza. Now, that might seem extreme, but you get the idea. So if there's an increase in the price of pizza, you're going to buy fewer pizzas, everything else held constant. And that's a representation of what we call a change in the quantity demanded. When we look at a good or a service, if there's a change in how much we want to buy or are able to buy, and that is a result of a change in the price level for that good or a service, we call that a change in the quantity demanded, and graphically we're going to show that as a movement along the demand curve.